Welcome to China Gateway 360, connecting global businesses with China through insights, opportunities, and trends. Today, we're stripping away the guesswork of entering the Chinese food and beverage market and looking directly at the reality of the hard numbers.
$150,000. As a market entry consultant, I can tell you right now that is your bottom line upfront. It's the absolute minimum baseline you're going to need for a lean, cross-border e-commerce launch. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we'll cover the true cost of entry, decode the 7 pillars, look at logistics, content, and team, compare some market entry scenarios, and finally, give you a practical 4-step budget plan. We are going to completely demystify these costs for you. Section 1, the true cost of entry. Let's move from these big macro numbers into a predictable working framework. Take a look at this executive summary. It really contrasts that $150,000 basic entry minimum against a full-scale operation, which can easily scale up to $2 million or more. By utilizing the modular cost framework we're about to show you, we can establish highly realistic budgets and actually achieve an 85% projection accuracy. Moving on to Section 2, decoding the 7 pillars. Let's start deconstructing this. Think of this as our visual blueprint. By systematically planning across these 7 core pillars, regulatory, legal, product, e-commerce, logistics, marketing, and staffing, we prevent cognitive overload and, crucially, protect your working capital. Pillar 1 is regulatory compliance. And here's a hidden insight you really need to watch out for. 42% of first-time labels contain errors. It's a common trap. Plus, if you're bringing in health food, be prepared for a long haul. There's only a 65% first-time success rate for those registrations.
China Gateway. Gateway.
Your gateway to business in China.
Next up, Pillar 2, legal and entity setup. The absolute critical prerequisite here is trademark registration. China operates on a strict first-to-file system. With over 30,000 trademark squatting cases happening every single year, protecting your IP right out of the gate is simply mandatory. Pillar 3 is product and packaging adaptation. You know, it's highly lucrative to target the gifting market here. It accounts for 30 to 40% of premium sales. But a quick pro tip, initial consumer trial purchases typically peak right at the 250 to 500 gram package size, so you'll want to plan for that. Section 3, logistics, content, and team. Let's keep the pace up as we move into the operational side of things. 2.5 times. I really want to emphasize this stat. Brands see a 2.5 times higher conversion rate in those crucial first 6 months if they allocate at least 30% of their launch budget strictly to professional content production. And that builds directly into Pillar 4, your e-commerce setup. You've got to weigh platform barriers here. For example, heavyweights like Tmall and JD require high deposits, ranging anywhere from $15K to $50K. On the flip side, Douyin offers a much lower barrier to entry, asking for just $400 to $3,000. For Pillar 5, logistics, the shipping realities are pretty stark. Air transit is going to run you 3 to 5 times the cost of ocean freight. Once your goods land, utilizing bonded warehouse operations in Shanghai and Ningbo will give you the most cost-effective volume discounts for imported F&B. In Pillar 6, marketing and brand building, the average return on ad spend across digital platforms usually sits between 2.0 and 3.5x, but you absolutely cannot ignore B2B trade shows. Xiao China in May is the critical event you want to circle in your calendar. It attracts over 100,000 visitors, making it massive for distributor networking. Finally, Pillar 7, operational staffing. When budgeting for your China-based team, always remember that mandatory benefits and social insurance will add 30 to 40% right on top of base salaries. Also, expect a 15 to 25% geographic salary variance, depending on whether you set up in a Tier 1 or Tier 2 city. Section 4, comparing market entry scenarios. Now for the reassembly, bringing all 7 of these pillars back together into practical working business models. And this brilliantly illustrates how those costs compound. Looking at the total Year 1 matrix, a basic cross-border e-commerce entry sits between $190,000 and $485,000. Meanwhile, scaling up to full manufacturing and retail gets heavy fast, pushing well over $1.2 million. But here's the good news. While initial market entry requires heavy front-loaded capitalization, your operational run rates will normalize significantly. By Year 2, you're looking at those costs dropping off by 40 to 50%. Section 5, your 4-step budget plan. Let's give you a concrete blueprint for your next steps. Step 1, define your entry mode. Over 65% of brands choose CBEC to validate demand first. Step 2, count your SKUs. Launching just 3 instead of 8 can save you up to $60,000 in Year 1 alone. Step 3, select your target cities wisely. For instance, Shenzhen's cold chain logistics are about 15% cheaper. And finally, Step 4, calculate your run rate and always add a 15 to 25% contingency buffer to absorb any unexpected regulatory delays. That's all for this China Gateway 360. Like and comment to receive materials from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.